All right, fellas. Tonight, of course, I got my friend Carla with me tonight, and I'm going to tell her about the difference between our robberies and note robberies. All right. Now, our robberies, what we did is we would filter into the bank, and one at a time, right? And two of my bros would be acting like they're making out a check or making out a deposit slip or something. One of them would be over there talking to the guard, right? And the other would be standing in line. And I'd walk in there and I'd walk up to the merchant window and I'd tell the gal, I'd go, "Hey, sweetheart, can I ask you a question?" She'd say, "Sure." I'd say, "You want to go to heaven?" She'd say, "Yeah." I'd say, I'd pull out my 45 and say, "Do you want to go now?" And she would always say no. Always say no. She would, all of them always say no, right? Then I'd jump up on the counter and everybody come out with this, and that's how we did it right. Now, for doing that, we were looking at 25 years, all right? That was the price, the maximum price you could pay unless you shot somebody or whatever. But at that point, we were looking at 25 years. Now, the majority of robbers walk into the bank with a note in their hand, and they hand it to the teller. And they say they got a gun or whatever. Now, they're looking at 25 years for doing that.
Okay.
But they're going to get $2,000 to $4,000. We're going to get $200,000 to $400,000 for doing it the way we. That's right. We're going to get paid, and half the time they don't even set the alarm off because they want us out of that bank because we're all armed to the teeth. We had AK-47s, we had shotguns. We were ready to rock and roll.
Dang.
All right. It was they people knew that we were serious about this, right?
I bet.
And anyhow, that's the difference between a note robber and a bank and a bank. You know, we were what's called armed takeovers. All right. Now, when we robbed an armored truck, we would. Now look, I can't tell you how we did it because that would be a crime. That's called conspiracy. Okay. But after we did our homework, and our homework took 90 days, then we would rob the armored truck. Sometimes you do good, sometimes not so good. But if you do your homework, you're going to always get at least 400 G's.
Okay.
All right. But what you're looking for mainly, there's a little locker in the armored truck in the corner up by the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And in that locker, if you get an armored truck that goes to a lot of big businesses, not fast food, I mean office buildings, you're going to get bearer bonds. All right, bearer bonds are in that locker. Now, one bearer bond is a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with no serial numbers, and it's worth from $1,000 to $10,000 anywhere in the world, untraceable. A lot of big businesses use bearer bonds because the bearer is the owner. It doesn't. Once it's stolen, they don't. There's no way to trace that bond.
Yeah.
If you get that, we got 40,000 one time in bearer bonds. That was the most we ever got. And that was the only time we ever got them. But I gave them to my mom. All right. But you can take them bearer bonds. See, you can only leave the country with $10,000 cash. That's all you can leave the country. See, back when we were robbing banks, there was no banking laws like there are now. We could rob one bank and take the money to another bank and deposit it.
And they wouldn't notice.
And they wouldn't notice nothing. They would just put it in their bank account. They didn't give a fuck. Because the drug dealers of the 70s is what changed the banking laws, because they would come into the bank with duffel bags full of money. I mean, literally duffel bags. And just say, "Here, we want to deposit $7 million." They'd go, "Fine." They're going to take.
No questions asked.
No questions
Where
asked.
does this come
They
from?
They don't care. They didn't. When the feds got wind of what was going on, that's when they changed the banking laws. Now, if you deposit $10,000 or more, they have to notify the feds.
I see. Yeah.
And they're going to say, "Where the hell did you get that money?"
Yeah.
Right? Because now, another friend of mine that I know, this guy came to this country on the boat when the Cubans came on the boat, and they did a movie. You ever heard the movie Scarface?
Mm-hmm.
The movie was based on this guy's case, but only it went a little bit different. The feds seen that this guy had snap. All right. By that I mean he had a lot of hustle, right? So What they did is they fronted him 10 kilos of heroin. The CIA gave him, he didn't know they were CIA.
Mm-hmm.
He thought they were drug dealers. They gave him 10 kilos of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold him drugs for 20 years and allowed him to build a huge empire where he was worth millions and millions. And then they ran in and busted him and took it all over and gave him life and put him in the penitentiary.
Wow.
But they supplied him.
Yeah.
He bought from them solely, built an empire over 20 years, made millions, had millions put away in Swiss banks and all kinds of stuff. And then the Fed just walked in and said, okay, we're going to have all that now. John, you're going to prison the rest of your life.
Wow.
And he's sitting in federal prison as we speak right now.
That's just terrible.
That's how our government does stuff.
Wow.
And with that, I'm going to say she's got to answer the phone. Subscribe to my videos and subscribe to her videos. All right? Like our videos, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, fellas.